Hello everyone, welcome to the first video on my how-to series, where I'm going to be going over how to play certain weapons, maybe go over a few matches of the weapons, and just, teach you. First, we're starting off with Heavy Splatling. Heavy Splatling has amazing paint, amazing suppression. It did get a paint nerf in the recent update, however it's still an amazing weapon. So, with Heavy, one of the most important things, the first thing you need to do is learn your charge time. Heavy Splatling, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 seconds. If you can't get the 3 seconds, 2 is also pretty good. Look, 1, 2, I can do for a while, you see? The main issue with Heavy is its ink tank. If I just shoot in a straight line for a second, you can see that I do get quite a lot of uptime. However, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4. You get about 4 full charges before you run out. 4.5, that kind of area before you run out. What you can do, however, to get more is if I actually try and paint here, like I'm trying to paint, I can just throw that out and get a free ink tank refill. You want to throw out your wave breaker when you're at low ink, or if you're getting rushed down, because you can hide behind it, like blocking the shots. You can throw your sprinkler out. So let's say I'm like on a map and there's like a wall. You can just throw your sprinkler there. It does decent paint. It doesn't do too much. You don't really want to use your sprinkler too much. However, if you are like super jumping, what you can do is when you're landing, you can throw it down, and that gives you a little bit of a health pack. It's just like just a small amount of health, which is very useful. Now onto what your role is. You want to be able to paint for your teammates. So I'm going to go into a recon match with my second account, and I'm going to show you like some range values where you want your team to be in order to be able to paint for them. Right, I'm here on Inkblot Art Academy. I'm going to go on top of this block. So this is a decent perch point on Inkblot. Sure, I'm on turf war, but like it's good on zones. It's decent on tower control. However, the block isn't here, but you can still stand here. Let's say I'm fighting. Let's say I'm just my teammates fighting in that choke point. Yeah, I'm spraying. You know, I can paint under their feet from here. However, let's say they're playing a weapon like Stamper. I know they're not, but I don't have Stamper unlocked. I can go over here. If I hide behind this block, then I now suddenly can't paint under their feet as easily, and now they're under pressure from the opponent that they're fighting. They don't have as much paint support. Now, let's say I move to behind here. Now I really can't help them at all. They're on their own. They need to carry. You really, if you're playing with a heavy, you want to stay inside their range. Let's say they're here. Sure, I can paint here. I can try and stop somebody approaching from behind. I can jump down, I can spray. But I can't paint under their feet. So if they're a weapon that can't paint under their feet, you want to be able to stay in range of the heavy. Somewhere I can paint your feet. Because look, I can't paint their feet. Their feet aren't getting painted. Let's say... Let's say I want to push up. I can push up with them. I want to stay further behind them, out of the range of the thing they're fighting. That's what you want to do when you're pushing up with somebody. Let's say they're fighting like a, let's say they're fighting here, they're fighting like a blaster. I want to stay out of range of the blaster, but so that they can't hit me. And if my teammate goes down, I just move back. Instantly move back. Let's say my teammate dies to the blaster. Let's say they die to the blaster, I instantly move away. I don't take that fight. Because unless they're low, you'd never want to take that fight. It's very important that you know when to retreat. Or, let's say I'm here, I can super jump out. I can just super jump. Especially if you're running quick super jump, which I would say you should run, but I'll go over that in a second. Right then, so here we go over the build. Let me show you mine. This build is a bit unorthodox, but what you want is 2 mains of run speed normally. Maybe a couple of subs as well. Definitely a couple of subs. You want a little bit of main. You want a bit of main saver, just so you can get more shots off and get your wave breaker. Some people like to run 1 or 2 subs of special charge up so that you can get your wave breaker before you run out of ink a lot easier. However, I don't, just because I don't feel like it. On my build, I'm running 2 subs of quick super jump. This is amazing because it means if you fall down or you push too far forward, you just click the jump out button. It's really quick, it's simple. You can just jump out. I also run Thermalink. Thermalink is one of those abilities that doesn't actually see a lot of use. However, it did get a buff recently, where you can actually see people's HP bars easier if they're marked, I'm pretty sure. So you can also use it to call out teammates and shoot over walls. Like if there's somebody hiding behind a wall, let's say you're on humpback and there's somebody on the other side of like the wall, you can shoot over it and pressure them, make them, give them less paint to work in. It's really good for that. Like, you could do that anyway, but if, say, they move to the side, so you don't know that, do you? It's good into stuff like brushes and things that don't like going into the ink as much as well, because it only works when they're in kid form. I also like to run 1 sub of ink resistance and sub resistance, but basically every weapon wants to run that. It's a pretty simple build. If you wanted to, you could run more run speed, or you could run, like I could run a main of special charge up instead of the ink saver. I could run like this gear if I wanted to. However, I really like the Thermalink. Make sure if you are playing, learn how to play with motion controls. Motion controls are like pivotal if you want to get better at the game. I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I've never played a game with motion controls. Neither have I. I learnt motion controls in about a month. I got really good at them. So you just gotta practice, you gotta give it a go. If it doesn't work out for you, then you just gotta try I don't know, you just gotta try. And try it for a while. It takes a while to get used to, but once you do, you can mess around with like sensitivity and stuff. This is what I use, but everyone's different. Like I know people who are on -1, but yeah, I've got quite high sensitivity just so I can turn quicker, you know? You see? I can turn really quickly. Sure, it's slightly less precise, but like when you're painting, it's really good to be able to turn quickly, because look how much paint I just got out there just by turning. I also want to quickly just go over the second kit. The second kit is Heavy Splatling Deco. It has an angle, it has a wave. What is that? It has a point sensor. So that's really good for scouting out for your team, as well as hitting over walls. Like let's say I throw it out here, or not there. If I throw it out here, I can now pressure them a bit. I can pressure them with paint underneath their feet. Kraken is decent on this weapon. If you're getting rushed down, you can just pop Kraken, go after them, or you're like getting booyah bombed, and because you're quite a slow weapon, it's quite difficult to get out of the way. However, you really want to play Kraken on like a more supportive, like if you've got more paint, you only want to play Kraken if you still have paint whilst you're in the Kraken. Because what I've noticed when I'm playing the Kraken Heavy is that when I'm in Kraken, my entire team goes down unless there's somebody else painting for them. So you really want to play it with like something like a pencil. If you want to go double backline, you can play it with like a pencil, and that's pretty good. And it's still got great paint. It's still got great support with the wave breakers. You can throw, not wave breakers. Point sensors, you can just throw them out. They're great. You probably do want to run more special charge up or more run speed. Like, more run speed is always good on heavy, just because you're running so much. Run speed is amazing. So now I'm going to go over some games. These are games from SoloQ sets. So I did have voice chat. I'm not going to elaborate. I'm not going to include the voice chat. However, sometimes I will bring up when I use the voice chat. For example, if somebody's flanking, I will let them know. Because you're a backline. You have view of most of the battlefield. Like, look, if I'm like here, I can see flanks to the right, I can see flanks to the left. And I can call out to my team so they can go deal with it, and then I can also support them whilst they're doing it. Like, let's say there's somebody over there, I can just paint underneath them, help my teammate deal with them. Because, yeah, you are really good at paint, just remember that. You have some of the best paint in the game for the range value you have. Also, let's say you're the guy who sees, like, when you need to make a push, you go, oh, we can push. Like, let's say they're one person down, you can go, oh, we need to push, pop a special, pop Booyah Bomb if they have it, go throw down cooler, you can say that. You're like the comms guy because you want to have a view, you want to know where everyone is, basically, as a heavy. As a heavy player, you want to know where everyone on the battlefield is as much as possible. You want to know when your team's sharking, so you can say push, and you can say don't push. That's a really useful thing for a heavy player to do. Because sometimes if you're playing a frontline, you're so focused on beating the opposing, you're so focused on fighting that you don't realise that you're 3 people down and you should just have waited. And because you don't have to worry about specials, you can tell other people when to use them, you know? It's quite an interesting weapon. But it's really good. It's really good when you have comms with your team. It's less good in SoloQ, however, it is still workable. Luckily. So, in SoloQ, you want to play a bit more aggro. You want to be the carry. But at the same time, you don't want to play too aggro, because then you'll just die. You'll run out of ink and die. That's also another thing. Ink management is very important. You should always keep an eye on your ink tank. Try and count how many shots you've used. You get pretty much 4 if you're running like 2 subs. You get like 4. Which is decent, but you just got to be careful. And throughout, make sure you use your wave breaker at a good time. Don't just throw it out when you've just refilled your ink tank. Anyway, time for the games. Alright, this first game. It's Splat Zones on Hagglefish Market. This is on a SoloQ set. All of these are, actually, to be honest. This one was a really close game. It's a good example of heavy. Now, our comp, it's got a lot of paint. It doesn't have as much fighting power. Their comp has good fighting power, but slightly less paint. So, we just got to work out. I go up on the tent first. Tent's great just as an opener. You can also just go down in the middle. It depends on what the other comp is, but they were being aggressive and I didn't want to be pushed. I try and support my teammate there. They pop whale. I go to try and break the wall. Breaking the wall is good. I am out of ink here, but I just drop down. There's somebody going right, but I didn't see them. But luckily my teammate got them. I push up here just because my team is pushing up. But I don't push up too far, because I know I'm kind of out of ink. Toss the wave breaker out, get a refill. My team is all dying on the left, but the ink brush handles it. They pop Booyah. It's fine. Splashdown is a bit scary, but we just cap instantly. This is going really well, but they're about to make a push and I'm in front. You should never be in front when you're playing heavy. You should always be either at the back or like trying to be at the back as much as possible. You're supporting your team rather than fighting with them. I get the pick here, which is nice. I then go to paint zone. Unfortunately, we lose control, which means we have like a massive penalty. I get pushed here. I was too far forward. Unfortunately, because my team were all in front of me, and because I went down, the rest of my team goes down, which is just not fun. I gotta watch out for the E-liter here. Always watch out for E-liters and chargers, because they always outrange you. Unless it's something like a Gootuber, but you're probably not gonna face one of them. We do manage to get paint control, which means they get a penalty, finally. They did get down to 48. I toss out the wave breaker. I do miss my wave breaker throw, but I get pushed from the left. I do try and trust my team to handle it, and they do. They group up, they gang up. I do jump here because they are giving me safe jump, and splashdown is scary, but the rest of my team handles it. I see that somebody going right, but I mainly focus on the gal, although I do die to the charger here, or yeah, the E-liter. Takes me a while to spawn back in because respawn Punisher. We don't want to stand too far forward. They have Booyah Bomb, they have good control, but we want to support our team. Like, make sure they have enough paint to fight, which currently they don't. Luckily, we do get the gal before it rips our entire team, but I gotta try and suppress like stuff in the back, make sure that they can't push me, although they do very well push me, unfortunately. They're just holding zone. We are going for specials. We're trying to get the Booyah Bomb. We get the Booyah Bomb, just about, and we need paint. We get the paint. So they don't get the lead, they get penalty. We do, what's it called? We do all go down here, but it should be fine. That was a bad jump from me, but luckily I'm not punished. You should probably never really jump as heavy unless they're like all dead, or somebody's giving you a safe jump, and they say, "Oh, I'm giving jumps." I throw out my wave breaker just to get ink tank refill, but I die to the Booyah Bomb because I try and push forward without noticing that they were there. Luckily, my team do get them 3 down. There's a blaster pushing right, so I can't jump. I just want to see if I can get keep paint control. Because we have a bit of a margin, but not much. We do get control there. Stops them from kind of progressing as much. I'm just stood here now. Spraying. Just, you know, making sure they can't push us. They do pop Booyah. Luckily they don't go after me. I do support the brush with the thing. We do go 2 down. I just got to hold it for a little bit. I just got to hold down 4. I throw out the wave breaker because I'm low on ink. That's the best way to use wave breaker, in my opinion, is to get a free ink tank refill. The blaster's pushing right, I think. Yeah, we're going down. We need to hold 5 more seconds. We pop Booyah Bomb, but they die, unfortunately. I did call out for the Booyah, but it just didn't come out. They counter us. I go down, which is not good. I shouldn't have dropped there. I should have just stayed on the tent. Luckily, the brush paints for us, and we win. That's a good game. Alright, next is a Splat Zones game. This is in a different SoloQ set. We have great paint and great fighting power. The crab tank's good, the beacons are good. If you can, jump to like the back beacon if you die, if you're playing heavy and with beacons, because you don't need stealth jump for it. Unless you're running stealth jump. Stealth jump is not the best. I do see the ink brush here. They are just... I did just get them there. They were trying to pop over the wall. See, there I supported my teammate. Made sure they didn't die. I shouldn't be fighting this E-liter really. I should have moved back a bit there. Throw out the wave breaker so they can't actually advance on me. The brush is going into our base, so I just ignore them because I can't reach them. And also I die. At that point, I was about to just turn around and ignore them, but I did die, so... And I also reminded my team that there was an ink brush, and they got the ink brush, so it's all good. I throw out the sprinkler just to distract them a bit. And we just have to play in neutral. Just for a little, not much for long. There is people on the left. I do fall down here, so I do jump out. Just because... And then I jump back into center. I should have jumped to the beacon, but It's fine. You throw down your sprinkler there, just in case like there's an E-liter. Not an E-liter, in case there's like a shot or something. The reef slider does come out. I was trying to get it, but I instead just died to the missiles. Luckily that was an easy game, so on to the next one. This is from the same set. I think it was a bit closer, probably not quite. However, we don't have beacons this time. We don't have strikes. We just have wait, we didn't have strikes. We don't have the gal, but we still have decent fighting power, but we have a lot better paint. We gotta be careful with the dualies of the brush. All the usual things. The dualies are really scary, to be honest, but brush goes down here. I decide to push right a bit, because I know that the E-liter's trying to in range. I definitely push too far up here. I move back a little bit. I watch out for the brush. I do get the brush just runs away, and I die to the Trizuka, which is fine. I was too far forward, but my team can still hold. They do lose control, but only for a really short time because they pop bubble up. I do get flanked here by the dualies, unfortunately, but my team should be fine. Yeah, they get the dualies, and they just jump back in. After that, we're just trying to hold zone. They keep on flanking us. You just gotta support. Make sure you don't like get cornered. Watch out for those missiles. Missiles are really annoying. They do go 2 down, and we just gotta make sure that they can't make a push, which they don't. And yeah, that's a pretty good game. Very supportive.